Okay, let's start. First things first. What I do is I share my screen. Okay, so what we do is we go to our lab, okay, practicals. So what I do is I go here, practicals 9. So this is my Java file, employee.java. This is my Python file, employee.python, okay? And this is my SQL. This is the jar file, the driver that will help me to connect by using my employee. Okay, this is only needed for Java, not for Python. And here is the steps, and here is my table command. Okay, now let me just check and see. There, MySQL is running. Okay, so no issues there. The first thing I have to do is go and create a folder. Let's go and create a folder in my D drive. Okay, I create a folder in my D drive. I call it, let's say, lab 09. Okay, so inside this folder, I'm going to store everything. In your C drive or D drive, doesn't matter. So put everything in there. D drive. Lab 9. Okay, employee.java. Keep your Python file over there as well. Your driver, jar file. You can download everything in one go. But I want to check. Yeah. And my table command, so that there are no errors. Okay, so we go here. Yeah, here is my steps. This is the file which I created just a few minutes ago. There, in this segment of the video, you can see about 30 minutes where we do this. For those of you who have not prepared, so first what you have to do is install your Java. Okay, is my Java installed in this computer? I check Java. Yes, it's installed. Okay, so no worries. Next, create a folder on your C or D drive. Yes, I've created a folder. My folder name is lab9. Next, create a new database called lecture 9 or lab9 in your MySQL Workbench. So let's open our Workbench. Yeah, here's my SQL Workbench. Opening. Okay, here, connect to your local instance. Okay, remember your user. What is your name of your user? Okay, mine is root. Okay, yours also should be root, or if it is something else, note it down because we need it for the connection. My password is 1234. Okay, remember the password is also needed. Okay, next, what I do is perhaps I create a new SQL. Okay, or what was this? This was my old SQL. Okay, so what I do is I just go and create a new file over here. Look at the step number 3. Create a new database called lecture 9 or lab 9. Okay, create a new database called lecture 9 or lab. Create database lab 09. Okay, execute it. It's created. And then, the next step is activate your database by typing use lab lab09. Okay, activated there. Lab09, refresh. There, lab09 is activated. Okay, next step, what you have to do is, okay, create a new table employee by using the code from table command.txt. So you don't have to type anything, my dear students. I have the command here. The reason I'm giving all this command to you, this is not exactly spoon feeding. Yes, maybe it is a little bit. Just to make sure that there is no mistakes. Okay, we want that there are no mistakes happening. Okay, this is what we run during lecture. Just saved it. Okay, so create a table employee consisting of 3 columns: employee ID, employee name, employee address. Okay, so first create a table. Okay, check your table whether it's created. Select all from employee. Sorry. Yes, table is created. And next, the reason I'm going through the steps so that you know exactly what steps you have to do. Set the time zone of your MySQL now. This is important. Without this, you may get stuck. Okay, so select your time zone to +8 Malaysian Singapore time. Okay, so there, the time zone has been set up. Okay, so no issues. Okay, next, number 6, open your folder location on command prompt. So here's my command prompt, and my folder location, as you see, is the lab9. Okay, so I'm going to go to the root folder and then go to the D drive. Depends in your case which location you want to save. So it's called lab9 cd lab09. Okay, there's all my folders over there. Okay, so once I have activated that location, next, open your folder location on command prompt. Done. Next, compile your employee.java file. Okay, so this is the file that I have here. Okay, I'm going to open it with Notepad++. There you have included your java.sql package. Okay, these are your controls, and here is the connection information, and here is your connection information. Before that, your driver name is updated to cj.jdbc.driver. Yes. Next, connection is localhost port 3306. Oh yeah, this one has to be changed. What was the name of my table now? The name of my table, the name of my database is now called lab09. During the lecture, we had lecture 09. So now we call it lab09. Yeah. The database name is lab09. The connection username is root, and the password is 1234. Again, in your case, it may be the same or it may be different. And insert into employee ID, employee name, employee address. The values will be taken from the text boxes. Okay. If the connection is successful, it will show me done. Otherwise, it will keep showing you trying. That means the connection is not successful. Okay. So save these changes. Okay. Lab9. Yeah. Remember, when you run this, okay, when you run this, your table exists, but there is no data inside your table. We are going to insert the data from the front end. Okay. So this is what we are going to do. Now I'm going to compile. I'm going to compile this program by typing my Java compiler. Again, check whether Java is installed. Yes, it's installed. So no worries. Okay. So Java the name of the file should be the name of the class name. Okay, so employee. So Java employee.java. Okay, there, no syntax error, no issues. So if you go to the location where we saved it, now we see we have got employee.class. Now I can interpret this. I can execute my class. Okay. Now I cannot type Java employee straight away. It won't work. I have to interpret with the help of the driver. Okay. So as the instructions go, after you compile, you interpret your employee class file by using the command below. Okay. So I just copy. This is a reference to your jar file, which is the driver. Okay. So I just copy and paste. There we go. Copy and paste. Okay. So there it opens my employee details. Okay. Now, employee ID 001. Okay. And let's say Yifang. Where does Yifang stay? Let's say Yifang stays in Hilltop. Okay. And then select accept. Done. Once you get done, that means everything is okay. If you go here, it says data inserted successfully. Because if you look at your code, if you look at your code, we have said right here itself, okay, if everything is okay, show data inserted successfully. If there's any issue in this connection, you see there's the try block. It will go to the catch and it will raise an exception. Okay. For those of us who know our Java programming. Okay. So data inserted successfully. And if the data is not inserted successfully, first of all, you will never get it done. It will be trying. Okay, look, button.accept, the moment you press it becomes trying. So if it shows you trying without showing you done, that means you have got a connection issue. Now here I don't have any connection issue. Everything is done. Now to double check, I go back to my SQL Workbench, okay? And I execute this again to double check. There, 001, Yifang, employee addresses at the top. Okay, let's insert another data, 002, let's say Jiayang, let's say stays in Luak. Okay, execute again. Let's see whether it executes. Yes, data inserted successfully. So go back and double check. So this is what you're going to show me today. Yes, data is inserted, no issues. Okay. So this is what you're going to show me. And once you are done, okay, with this connection, you can close it from here, or you can just come here and type Control-C. There, it's closed. It's gone. Okay. So that is the first part in terms of your Java. Okay, now let's go and do the same thing in Python. You see, I have got my employee.py. So if I go to my Python, I'm going to go to my Anaconda installation, and I'm going to open Spider. Spider is a nice IDE where we can see our code. Take some time to open, depends on the computer you use. So I'm going to open, I think this one is already the same thing, right? Just to be on the safe side. Let's close this. I'm going to open uh, no, D drive. I'm going to go to the D drive. I'm going to go to what's the name? Yeah, Lab 9. And I'm going to go and open my employee.py. There. Okay. So I'm using a MySQL connector. You can see, first of all, the first impression you get is the code is so less. Okay. But there's another issue you should know that in Java, we created a graphical user interface. In Python, we are just using a simple character user interface. But even if you employ a graphical user interface in Python, the code will be lesser than Java. Okay, so here in our Python code, okay, I'm not going to go into the details of this code because it's already there in the lecture session. You can have a look at it. But long story short, here is your connection. Okay, so your root, your password, and yeah, I have to change this. I have to change to lab09. Okay, update the change. Okay, and then the data is stored inside these three variables. And then from here, using these three variables, it's inserted into employee. So I compile. This is how you compile in, you interpret in Spider. Interpret means it executes line by line. Okay, so we execute there. Please enter the following ID. Let's say 003 is my employee ID. My employee name is Brian. Where does Brian stay? Brian stays in Sanabi. Okay. Data successfully inserted. Let's go and double check again using our backend. There, Brian is also inserted. Okay. It's very powerful, creating a front end and connecting it to your backend. Okay. Now, there is no necessary requirement that this front end should be on the same computer. It can be on a distant computer across the world. It can still connect to the backend if you are given the proper path and the proper URL, proper authentication. It can still connect. Okay. So that's it. The connection is successful. And this is what you have to show me today. Okay. Yeah, that was